my name is Fabyury Khrysthyan. I'm a black belt. I'm 23 years old. And we're here at AOJ, Art of Jiu-Jitsu. My participation at Ocean BJJ Pro was like really remarkable for me. That was like when everything started and I started to fight like mainstream events, like fighting flow grappling. I signed up like right away. A week after, I signed up like a deal with them for fighting the super fight events, the Who's Number One. So it was like a really remarkable day because I was able to perform really well under the rule set, to like bring like to the crown, like a really show to the people. So it was a good day.
Yeah. Damn, I'm cold, I'm so clean. Look at me go, yeah, get on my team. Been on a roll, I got what I need. Look at me, I go, look at me, I go. Damn, I'm cold, I'm so clean. Look at me, I'm so fresh, so clean.
Well, I think like the Ocean was a surprising event for me. I wasn't supposed to fight, and then last minute I got the invite because I was already going for BJJ Summer Week. I was having a blast there, just participating on the camp. So for me to jump in Ocean was a privilege, and I felt really comfortable with the tournament, with the rule set. And I think my performance itself was what made a difference on me having the opportunity to participate in other major events around the world. I got out of there with 4 fights, 3 submissions, and 1 decision win against a world champion. So overall, I think participating in events where the rule implies the submission and that excels my game, I think I perform better like that. So overall, I think the rule set makes it better.
I got what I need. Look at me, I go. Look at me, I go. Damn, I'm cold, I'm so clean. Look at me, I'm so fresh, so clean. Bringing it on, stack it with ease.
I mean, anytime you get to compete, someone gets to compete on any stage that's broadcast on our platform in Jiu-Jitsu, which is flow grappling, it gives exposure, you know, especially in other countries. We see a lot of the big Jiu-Jitsu promotions in the US. So the exposure of competing in a different country, I think, helps being able to compete anywhere in the world. So anytime you can get out of the US and it still have like a prestige to it, which Ocean brought that with the athletes that they brought, with the way the event was structured, it definitely not only put the stage for people to be shown, but for my husband, who's a submission hunter, it was perfect for him to be able to display his jiu-jitsu somewhere other than the US because we want to be recognized around the world. So Ocean brought that.
Hi, my name is Paweł Jaworski. After my participation at Ocean Pro, I had helped me a lot. I was able to be more well known in Europe. I had the opportunity to compete at the Polaris and other big organization in Europe. Also, I had the opportunity to compete with the guys from the higher level, so it was a good moment for me, and I'm really grateful for it, for the guys from Ocean to organize for this type of events.
I stayed on a list just like a demon. She got a dragon on her back, don't catch her breathing. Oh God, gotta keep that 40 just in case. Say she bowing like a lamb, nothing pretty but her face. Oh God.
So I had a super good time competing at Ocean. It was a super professional event. I really liked the little setup with the trials beforehand, and it was super good for me. It kind of kickstarted my season last year, and it really helped me with getting on bigger shows after. I started with Ocean I tend to have a season in fall. Generally, this is where I try to focus most of my competitions because I don't think it's feasible to compete year-round. So Ocean in September was kind of my kickoff event, and it really helped me because after that, and I think partially because of Ocean, I was able to compete in Kuwait on Emperor of the Mats. I think I was brought to their attention through Ocean, and then from that I got onto the biggest stage that I've competed on so far, which was ADXC last October in Abu Dhabi, which was a super big event, and I definitely think fighting on Ocean played a role in that.
Ocean's rule set is really interesting, like for the fighters. Like I think they also helps in prioritize the fighters that fight forward, and also combine with the flow grappling, live stream, the combination that they do together is really good for the athletes. So if you're like an athlete that fights forward, that you like literally like living your expressions on the mat and try to make it up a show and a statement by your performance, the rule set and the coverage help you a lot, definitely.
Yeah, so the rule set is overall is cool. Like the only thing which I would like to add is gonna be more passivity points for the guys who is stalled. That is the only thing which can be fixed, but in overall everything is good.
as any other event, if you're searching for events to be showcasing good athletes, that it needs to be seeking submissions, it needs to be sub-only, it needs to be proactive, it needs to be penalizing athletes for not engaging in the guard and also not searching for the fight when it comes to bottom position. I think Ocean, I was having a blast because people had to come in my guard, and on the wrestling exchanges, they had to exchange with me, they had to come in. Well, my experience at the Ocean GP was impeccable. I love the event, I love the ruleset, I love everything about it. And I believe my jump to major events was due to my performance, you know. I had one of the best performances of my career. I was able to submit 3 fights in a very flashy way with flying submissions and no fighting the way the public wants to see. And won a decision in the final against Sebastian Rodriguez, which is a no-gi world champion athlete. So I believe my performance escalated me to be able to compete in major events.
I think Ocean's rule set is really interesting. I think the question with the rule set is always the balance between being too points heavy or being too submission only oriented. I think both going into both directions too far kind of leads to a little bit of a worse experience for most grapplers. I think Ocean brings a really interesting new flavor to that discussion. I think it kind of finds an interesting way of hitting the middle. Whether it is the middle, I think, is up to every grappler to decide for themselves. The connection with flow grappling definitely benefited me. I had a good performance on Ocean and was then highlighted in one of their video podcasts, which was definitely the most attention I've gotten from major media until that point.
I think so, because we're getting used to submission only for sure, but with the submission having a point, I think it makes people hunt for the submission even more. Especially because if you're getting a point for it, the attack's going to be more aggressive, it's probably going to be a tighter attack, and it's going to expose those who don't have submission attempts, especially when you put a point on it. So I think the rule set definitely sets a standard for the way that rule sets in jiu-jitsu should be. Not only is it submission only, which is what we're always hunting for, but if you get close, you do get rewarded, and it helps push not only that person, but the other person to be attacking submissions as well.
I agree with the rules. Some things that I like, I don't like. But in case of performance, I think the rule set is really enjoyable for watching because they prioritize for the submission. So once you lock a submission, you have a really good attempt. That's like a stronger point that if you score sweeps, dominance positions. But also, in my opinion, we can never let to watch the beauty of jiu-jitsu that is also dominance. Because although with the submission, there's also dominance going on there. So I feel that's is interesting rule set. I like it.
I think the fact that the submission counts as a point, you know, has a big thing to do with it. People that lack submission tax, they're gonna be behind, so it's kind of hard for them. To me, it's just exciting because it's gonna bring someone to try to, you know, kill me, and I'm gonna try to kill them. So it's literally kill or be killed. That's the type of event that I like to compete. I don't play by the rules. I play to win. So
this is so effective to put show on the event because it for this rule set force athletes to look for the submissions, to look to finish the match as fast as they can. So that's cool for the show. So that's gonna be a great thing which gonna help the most to be popular in Europe. The rule set is great, but also it's tough to win. Sometimes in case when one guy will get the big point, so sometimes it's gonna be hard to score and win by points. So always people have to look for the submission.
Yeah, like I said, I think Ocean really finds an interesting new balance between the sub-only and the points-focused jiu-jitsu. I think that's always the discussion. Rule sets like EBI or pure sub-only with decisions really discourage good positional jiu-jitsu, which I think is super important. I think some other rule sets focus too much on the positional part and don't highlight submissions enough. I think there's yet to be a rule set that really finds good balance, at least for me, and I think Ocean finds an interesting way of rewarding submissions in a points-based rule set.
Of course, anytime you're putting any sort of Grand Prix together, right? Any sort of tournament bracket, super fights, you want to fight as much as you can to be able to display your jiu-jitsu. You're plain and simple, you will not get opportunities unless you risk and go and display. So Ocean is another platform that's not only giving people winning trials to be able to compete with people who are invited, who might already have a name in jiu-jitsu, be able to compete against kind of all levels and let people who might not have a name yet get in there and make a name for themselves.
Yes, 100%. I felt like a professional athlete when I was there. I think the stage was a beautiful stage. You know, they treated the athletes the right way. You know, the media day was awesome. I think the ruleset was what pushed me to perform the way I performed, you know. It's always incentivizing the submission, you know, and that's what I was there to do. So definitely. Yeah, definitely. The quality of the athletes is something that has been impressing me, you know, like the European in general and the Italian jiu-jitsu scene has been growing a lot, and we've been discovering many talents. You know, last event was Paweł Jaworski, the Poland kid that submitted Aspen and beat Tommy Langacker, and now he's a legit competitor. So definitely Ocean's work with the ruleset, with the way they set up the bracket, improves all of that and makes those new talents, new upcomer competitors coming in hard to try to take the spotlight. So yeah, it was a great experience overall. Especially with the collab with Flow Grappling. We've seen before with other athletes that participated at the Ocean, performed very well. Didn't necessarily win, but their performances caught the attention of other brigade promotions, and now those athletes are having the opportunity to live off their careers solely, not having to work a side job. So I think Ocean is doing an amazing job. It's still in the very beginning, so they're working really hard to make the event the best possible. And I think every athlete that seeks the opportunity to live off jiu-jitsu, live off competing, should trust the Ocean GP, trust the trials to be an event that can escalate you to that big stage.
So something that impressed me about the experience from the whole tournament as a whole is that just like when I arrived there, all the way to the making the brackets to fighting, they treat me like as a professional athlete from the beginning to the end, and that's like something that I really appreciated. Like they picked it up at the airport, they took me straight to the hotel, they explained me how it wasn't going to be. We did the brackets, so we did like a lucky draw on the brackets with in front of everyone. So it was like really interesting because you didn't know like who you could fight. You could have like a really tough match as the first, and then like we also have the guest inviters that they made it there. I think they're like, that's what held the show. We have like people that were like showing up from their bracket. They were like making some huge upsets that would happen out there. So that was like the first impression that left, was like this whole approach that they did. It took me back in the days as like also 2016 as a Copa Podio. Probably like all the guys that watched there, they have been watching Copa Podio. It was really similar.
I think the first edition that I competed in was still a bit quiet on some parts, but I think if you look at the round of trials now, I think the first main event, which was after all the trials, really put Ocean on the map. This is where I think a lot of big names noticed, and I think the next edition that's coming up now in September is going to be much more interesting, because all of the trials this year that I was like looking at the brackets, looking at who was winning and competing, some really, really good people actually qualified this year, is going to be what really upgrades the next edition and is going to make it more exciting.
The specific thing is this big wave idea where they are drawing the bracket right after the weigh-in. It's cool because it's decreasing the situation when people will get the free matches, because some guys will not make a weight. He will able to get the final for free, and other guys has to compete against it, get more matches for it. So that is better for everyone, because everyone is gonna get the same chance to compete. This rule set about the big points for sub attempts is the most thing which changing the game during the matches. But in overall, the whole organization thing, it's great. So everything was on time, so it's cool. And the referee is on the highest level, so that's cool to compete.
Everyone that were aspired to be a professional athlete, even more the Oceans in Europe. We have a lot of like really good grapplers in Europe that are upcoming. I think that they should definitely try to find a rule set like that give you exposure, give you like mainstream, give you medias, and also is trying to put it on the biggest scenarios of sport. There's like Flow Grappling, have this collaboration with Flow Grappling. So I think that they should aim more and go more to fight towards this organization that they prioritize the athletes. They want to make like athletes make new stars. That's what they did with me, like if we say that way, you know, like I ended up like having one of the best performances of the event, fighting with everyone there to our contract with the Who's Number One, fighting the Who's Number One, to making this interview here right now for people seeing the future inspire themselves. Hopefully I'm gonna see you guys at the next Ocean BJJ Pro too. You know, they're gonna have some new invites.
I think if you're an up-and-coming athlete trying to really get yourself out there, the fact that Ocean has these trials makes it really grabbable for people that don't have a brand yet. A lot of the other big stages that are on flow grappling and stuff like this, you need to get invited. So you already need to have your name out there. You already need to have a brand. The fact that Ocean has so many small trial opportunities, it's a good way for people that don't have the reach, the brand, the name yet, to get yourself onto those stages, to get yourself seen by the people that are then going to invite you to the bigger stages.
If you would like to be at the highest level of jiu-jitsu, you have to spend as much time as you can to be able to progress as fast as you can. So like you have to really put yourself and you have to be dedicated for jiu-jitsu if you would like to achieve something. So that is the thing which is the most important one.
We love Ocean BJJ.
This feels like so